Good evening, good evening. Good evening. Hey, good evening, Mama. Pastor Shalom, good evening, Ma. Good evening, Style, Megidi. Good evening, Akin, Shawok, Fumilala. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Let me know where you are connecting from. Let me know where you are joining from tonight. Good evening. Let us break the silence. Yes, day one. Let me know where you're connecting from this evening. Comment down. Good evening, good evening. Awesome. Hi, Tola Banji. Good evening. Tom Tom Adebayo. Hi, good evening. Thank you for connecting. Let me know where you are joining from. Hi, YouTube. Let me know where you are connecting from tonight. So we are live on YouTube and we are live on Instagram as well. And tonight it's day one. We're going to day 15. Day one of breaking the silence. Hi. Awesome. So welcome. Let me know where you are joining from tonight. Let me know where you are connecting from tonight. We're going to be having a very interesting conversation. Just kickstarting it, talking about domestic violence and abuse. So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And for me, like I shared earlier on in a video that I posted, that this is a cause that is, very close to my heart, because I've been there, I walked the journey, I'm a survivor. And I realized that a lot of people are actually still dealing with this, or they are out of it and they are not healed and they are struggling, and it is not God's will for you to struggle. The Bible says, I wish above all things, 3 John 2, that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. And one of the things that abuse does, right, it makes your soul sick. Abuse destroys your soul. Your soul consists of your will, your mind, and your emotion. So, thank you, Ashley. Good evening. Hi, Ashley. Cool Kid, hi. JT, hi. I see you all. Thank you for connecting tonight. So, what I want you to do for me tonight is to share this live, right? Whether you're on YouTube or you are on Instagram, please share the live and get people to connect with us tonight as we have this very, very interesting conversation about domestic violence and abuse. And along this journey, right, I will share my own story. I will be able to let you know that a lot of the things that we are talking about is not just theory, but it's something that actually do happen and can happen. I'm sure you know one or two people who probably have said to you they are experiencing this, and you probably find it difficult or you struggle to understand what they are saying. And sometimes some people don't even, I remember the very first time I shared my story, somebody came into my DM and was, saying, oh my God, it's as if you're talking about me. You say, oh my God, it's talking about me. And I'm like, okay, wow, that is interesting, because there is power in sharing our story. I see you all, Fire, Michelle, Fireboy, hi, good evening. Undubisi, Okeafo, good evening. Naomi, good evening. Stefan, hi. And Amamba, hi. Good evening, all. Thank you for connecting. Like I said, please share the video and get people to connect with us tonight as we have to talk about this interesting conversation. Okay, people are already asking me questions. Why does it happen to nice people? Oh, Michelle. Right, well damaged. Oh my God, Michelle. Okay, so I will talk about that, right? And you're already pushing me in a particular direction. But you see, I have my notes. I have everything that I want to talk about. Tell us your story more. I will tell you my story. Fire, free the boy. I will tell you my story definitely because there is power in our story. And my story, I realized if a few years ago, usually at the beginning of the year, I will wait on God, just to ask God, okay, what is the word for this year? What are the things that you're wanting me to do? And that particular year, I think it was 4 years ago now, God just said to me, stop covering your scars, your scar. And I thought, oh, okay, because I do have a physical scar on my shoulder. I've talked about that also so many times. And I thought, oh, the scar on my shoulder is really big. I got a scar from having a cancer operation some years ago. And I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. And he said, no, your physical scar, your emotional scar. Because yes, you're carrying a scar. Because listen, I tell people that have been through abuse is you can go through the journey of healing and heal, but the scar will still be there. What do you do with your scar? Your scar is a badge of honor, and you use it to bless people. So, Michelle says, why does it happen to good people? You need to get this. Okay. I was thinking a lot because I do coach a lot of people. I do coaching and therapy for people, and I realized that a lot of people that I coach are good people, but they've been through this experience. And I began to ask myself, why do bad things happen to good people? Why do good people go through abuse? And I realized that street sense, right? And so the tag for this book is how to blend gentle dove with wise serpent. How to blend gentle dove with wise serpent. Because sometimes we're right, okay. People are already asking me questions. Let me try and write the questions down so that I don't forget as well. So Anambra says, what do you do? What do you do? Or let me tag it. Let me pin it. It's just that if another question come in then. So maybe what we'll do is this. If you have a question, please use the question icon. Okay, use the question icon to send me that question so that I will be able to go over that when you are still there. Okay. So let's just start from talking about what is abuse. So for Michelle, I'm so sorry about your experience. I wouldn't say I feel exactly what you're feeling because the truth is our pain is different, right? Your pain is unique to you, it's different from mine, but we can sort of encourage each other because we've been through something similar. So this book, right, you need to get it, is on Amazon. All my books are on Amazon, and all the books came from my own experience, my own pain, the answers I found. So the very first book I wrote is Rise Above Your Past, right? And in this book, I shared 4 powerful principles of how you can rise above that painful past. Because it is actually a very painful past. So 4 principles I shared in that. The regret trap. Sometimes you realize that, okay, I actually made a mistake. There's something I did wrong. And then, that just sits on you. You have to break free from the regret trap. And of course, from pain to purpose, letting you understand that there is purpose inside that pain. And if you are a child of God, if you're a Christian like I am, I believe very much strongly that nothing happens in our lives by chance, right? And everything, the Bible says, all things. I love that part of the scripture. All things, not some things, not good things, but all things work together for good for those who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. So all things. So if you are able to, bring yourself to that place where you say, Lord, I know I've made this mistake, or I've done this, or this looks really bad, help me to navigate it to a place that will actually work for my good. And God will do that for you. So I say to people that if I can rise above my painful past, if I can find purpose in my pain, then so can you. And that's why I'm committed, right? I believe my mandate is to help people to heal them. My mandate is actually from Isaiah chapter 61, verse 1 to 4, right? The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, for he has anointed me to comfort the brokenhearted. The same comfort with which he comforted me. And one of the things I realized is a lot of people don't even know that they are being abused. A lot of people don't even understand what abuse is. And you cannot heal from what you don't know. Hey, I see my sis, Pastor Barbie. Good evening. Catley, Focus, Dennis. Hi, I see you all. Thank you so much for connecting. Thank you for connecting. Please keep sharing the link and get people to connect with us before we go. I want to start off by reading the statistics to you, because sometimes when we talk about abuse, people just think that, oh, it's just something that people say, or, people just make it up. I remember, it was about 3 years ago now. God rest her soul, when we lost dear sister Osinachi, and it was everywhere. And people were blaming her. People were saying, oh, she should have left. Why did she stay? And things like that. And, I rarely get really, really like upset. But that I was angry. I was like, you people should stop. You don't even understand what you are talking about. Because see, abuse, and I will talk about different kinds of abuse, right? But abuse affects your brain. There are different areas of the brain. Abuse affects your brain. And then you see is when they say somebody has brain damage, right? Or somebody has become a vegetable because they got involved in an accident or something. They come to a state where they can't do a lot of things by themselves, right? Because your body sends messages to your brain that, okay, I need to sleep. I need to drink water. I need to go to the bathroom. And then your brain receives the message, and then it does what? It speaks to your leg. Oh yeah, stand up and go to the bathroom. So there's a reaction, there's a response. There is constant communication. Now, if somebody's been involved in an accident and their brain is not functioning the way it's supposed to function, the body can be saying, I need the bathroom, I need the toilet. But the message is not being passed across to the brain. So the brain cannot instruct the legs to go to the bathroom. And so what happens? This person messes themselves up because there's a problem. The same thing happens to people who go through abuse. Abuse has the capacity to shrink the size of your brain. The functionality of your brain will reduce very, 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 very strategically. And it's important for you to understand that it's okay for me to feel the way I'm feeling. There's nothing wrong with me. Somebody that got injured in an accident will not be saying, oh, where's my hand paining me? Where's my leg paining me? No, they were injured in an accident. They have to allow themselves to heal. Absolutely. Different responses. It can freeze you. It can, do a lot of things, right? And we're having one of the things that is happening also in October. Let me quickly talk about that. Is Reinvent to Excel 7.0. So if you've not been following us, this is the 7th edition. I was thinking, oh my God, 7th edition? Wow. So we've had 2 physical editions, and then so this would be the 5th virtual edition. And that's happening. Is virtual, so you can join us from anywhere in the world. It is absolutely free. We have amazing people who are going to be coming to speak at that event. And one of them is my sister here, Babylicious. She's also a survivor. She will be sharing her story. Our stories are so important, because one of the things that happens to you when you are in that state of abuse is you think, I'm the only one. Something is wrong with me, right? That is why all of this is happening to me. But when you hear other people's story, you realize that no, nothing is wrong with me, actually. Right? Yes, Michelle. So please, you can. The link is on in my bio. Reinvent to Excel 7.0. You can register. It's absolutely free of charge. I want to read a statistics to you so that you understand that we are dealing with a phenomenon. We are dealing with, it's. I nearly call it an epidemic, because it's just what is reported that we know. What about the ones that we actually don't know? Or the ones that rarely come out and say, this is happening to me? Now, 30% of women worldwide have experienced physical and sexual intimate partner violence, or non-sexual partner violence in their lifetime. 30%. over a quarter, that's 27% of women between the ages of 15 and 49 who have been in relationship reported having faced intimate partner violence. That's 27% between 15 and 19. They reported, though. What are those who didn't report? Intimate partners commit 38% of all murders of women globally, highlighting the fatal risk of domestic abuse. So 38%, that is a high percentage of murders are committed by intimate partners in relationships. That is scary. Every minute, how are you? How do I donate 1,000? Okay, you can please use the link. There's an email. Oh yes, absolutely, Michelle. Right? If you want to send us an email on YouTube, please send an email to hello@coachjolagrace.com. hello@coachjolagrace.com. So Milo, you can send an email to hello@coachjolagrace.com. Thank you very much. Now, every minute, Aquarius, hi, I see you all. Yes. Every minute, an estimated of 24 people becomes victims of domestic violence, rape, and stalking by an intimate partner worldwide, totaling over 12 million cases annually. This is a serious situation that we're talking about. That is why we need to break the silence. Remember, you cannot heal what you don't know. I cannot even help my sister or my brother, because this is also very important. Domestic violence and abuse is not gender biased. I have male clients who are being abused or who are being abused. It's just that the statistics of men who report it is lower, because they say you are a man, you have to be strong. But you're a man, you have emotions. You are a human being as well. So abuse is not gender biased. It happens to men, it happens to women, it happens to children, abuse can happen to anywhere they are human beings. Abuse can happen. And that is intriguing. Every minute, an estimate of 24 people. So now we've been here for how many minutes? 17 minutes. So 17 times 24 people have already become victims of domestic violence and abuse. Only about 34% of individuals injured by intimate partners receive medical care, underscoring massive underreporting and gaps in survivor support system. So people who report it, people don't even really report it. Only 34% of people report it because they are afraid, because they say if you report it, this will happen to you. Or what will people think? So let's just keep pretending and smiling and laughing that everything is fine. And listen, I was there. For 16 years, I was there. I felt let's just keep putting the powder on and keep pretending that everything is fine, or keep trusting that everything is fine, and keep, so there was a facade that was on the exterior, and something else was going on internally. Abuse is real. It's going on somewhere right now. Somebody probably is experiencing it right now, but people don't talk. We need to break the silence. Listen, let me tell you this before I continue. One of the things I say to victims is, listen, the abuse is not your fault. It's not your fault. The abuse you are experiencing or you experienced is not your fault, because the perpetrator will tell you, you know how I can be now. You know how I can be. You know this is my anger problem. You are the one that upsets me. And because you're upset, that's why I slap you. You should be careful. You should be careful. You know I'm a very good person. It's only when you upset me, then I can slap you, I can strangle you. Hello. You know what I tell people? Listen to this. You have no control over what other people do, so over other people's actions or inactions. You only have control over your own action and your reaction to the action. So if you say, for instance, oh, I'm so hungry, I've not eaten for the past 3 days, are you going to break into a supermarket to go and steal? If you do that and they catch you, guess what? You are going to prison because you are a thief. We don't want to know the reason why you did it. Your reaction to the situation on ground is wrong, is criminal. So, Michelle, that is Stockholm syndrome. Why do women keep going back to them? Is Stockholm syndrome. Because listen, I said this abuse starts from the mind. They have to work on your mind. Because see, you cannot abuse another human being except you first of all get their mind. Where do abuser start from? The mind. The mind. And I say something. I say, God, the Bible says, guard your heart, your mind with all diligence. For out of it comes the issues of life. So you know what your greatest asset is? I know you have that gold, you have that Rolls Royce, you have that mansion somewhere, you have that. But listen, your greatest assets are not those things. Your greatest asset is your mind. Because excuse me, if anything happens to your mind tomorrow, all of those things becomes useless. You might not even be able to operate them again. Have you seen someone that's lost their mind operating a phone? Hello? Maybe this guy was had a lot of money, a billionaire, and then they say, oh, he has lost his mind. He's crazy, he's mad. Can he still take his phone and be sending SMS or be taking his phone and be calling you or be doing Instagram or anything? No, because he has lost his mind. So your mind is your greatest asset. And so which is why abuse, right, is a crime against humanity. It's not against that person. It's abuse attacks your very life. Because when your mind is gone, your life is gone. So they start with your mind. They start telling you things, I'm the only one that cares for you. I'm the only one that loves you. Nobody else likes you. You see, you better be happy that I'm in a relationship with you. And remember, I'll keep saying this, it happens both ways. Abuse is not gender bias. Michelle, please, you can send an email to hello@coachjolagrace.com. Okay, for those on YouTube, if you want to reach out to me, please send an email to hello@coachjolagrace.com. hello@coachjolagrace.com. I'll figure out how to type things in there. Or I'll save this video and I'll put all the contact details. So there's a WhatsApp number as well that you can use to reach us. If you want to reach us, you can send us a WhatsApp message there. So that is the statistics. That statistics is actually alarming. And I decided to just start with that to help you understand that abuse is real, it's happening. It's happening. People are dying. People are dying. 34% of murders is as a result of abuse. And so we need to break the silence. We need to know what to do, especially, and I've said this with all humility, those of us who are people of faith. Because one of the things that we have done is we have been covering up abuse, and it's time to stop. It's okay. Just keep praying. Somebody is beating you. And you're saying, you need to, first of all, escape to safety. Listen, some people, if you die there, God will ask you, hello, have you finished doing what I asked you to do? You need to excuse yourself to safety. Leave to live. It's the person that is alive that is saying, I'm in a relationship or I'm in a marriage. And I will talk, maybe tomorrow or so, we have so many things to talk about. I will also talk from the perspective of the perpetrator. So what is going on in the head of the perpetrator? Because one thing I've also seen is I've seen victims become perpetrator. Michelle, is that all around the world or just America? No, I'm from England. I'm from the UK. So that statistics is actually a global statistics, right? So it's sort of like a global statistic, but I'm resident in the United Kingdom. Okay. Somebody says it's quite unfortunate. Even when you speak up, you still get blamed. Blamed, absolutely. And so that is why those of us, right, who are in this profession, who have actually also experienced this, we need to start educating people, creating awareness. This is why the whole month of October is domestic violence awareness. Because people don't understand. And even people that blame victims, they don't understand as well. They don't understand. Because if you were talking about the mind of the person, yes, I said I will still talk about it. I don't want to go into that right now. I'm just saying that a victim can also easily become a perpetrator. So we also need to look at, okay, the perpetrator, and they are on different spectrums. Okay, so it might be a narcissist, it might be somebody that has bipolar, it might be different things. So we'll still come to that, right? So that you can also help yourself. Some of them can be helped, some of them cannot be helped. But the first thing is safety. Safety. Too many people are losing their lives because of relationships. See, I'm gonna get passionate, in this conversation, because, like I said, is close to home. There is no marriage in heaven. There's no marriage in heaven. There is no marriage in heaven. So first of all, you need to be alive to fulfill the purpose that God has sent you here for. So I want to quickly run. Oh my goodness, already? Nearly 30 minutes. Okay. Lagudat high. Safety first. Absolutely, baby. Safety first. So let's look at different kinds of abuse. Now, quickly, a lot of times when you hear domestic violence, people think, oh, he's beating him. In fact, I've had somebody says, oh, they will ask, tell somebody that I'm being abused, and they said, is he beating you? I said, no. He said, so be managing. I'm like, what? Remember what I said before? Your mind is your greatest asset. Your mind is and I will share some stories with you as we go on this journey. It's a 15-day journey. I will share some stories with you of people who have, in fact, let me share one real quick with you. Now, this happened in the UK some years ago. This woman was the perpetrator here was a man, the woman was a victim. And I can't remember the exact number of years, but it was a very, very long time that they were together, right? And the man was cohesively controlling the woman. So I'm going to start talking about the different kinds of abuse, right? But there's something called coercive control. It's a kind of abuse, controlling. In fact, in the UK, it is a criminal offense if you are convicted of coercive control. You can go to prison for up to 5 years. Because God did not create us as human beings to be controlled by another human being. Go to Genesis chapter 1. And I'm a person of faith, so you will see me refer to the Bible in this conversation. He says, let us create man in our own image, in our own likeness, that they may what? Have dominion over what? Not over the other human beings. Dominion over the animals, over the fish in the sea, over the birds of the air. Not over another human being. So anybody that tries to lord it over another human being is abusing them. It is coercive control. It is wrong, because one thing that God has given all of us as human beings is the power of choice. Power of choice. So you have a right to make your own choices, not to be coercively controlled by another human being. Sit down there. You cannot go out. Wear these clothes. Don't talk to that person. Don't go this one. You cannot walk. You cannot this. You have a life. You are created. That is why God created us as individuals. We didn't create one person. Even twins, they are not joined together. They are still two different individuals with two different mindsets, with two different characters. They will have different opinions. And so it's important for you to understand that. That is so critical and so important. I'm done with relationships now on my own. Well done, Michelle. Wow. So physical abuse is just one of the types of abuse. And so, right, so let me go back to the story I was sharing about this woman. And so for years, she was being coercively controlled. She was keeping quiet, managing it, keeping quiet, taking it. The man would say, give me all your money. Well, go there. Don't go out. Sit down at home. Why are you talking to that person? Wear these clothes. She was controlled. She didn't have a mind of her own. She couldn't do anything for herself. And one day, Because remember, abuse chips away the soul of the victim. Your soul is your will, your emotions, and your mind, right? And so I usually say that abuse has the capacity to shrink your brain. So imagine that your brain, the size of your brain is the size of a watermelon. Abuse can shrink the size of your brain to that of a lemon. And so lemon cannot function the way watermelon will function. It can't. So after so many years, one day this woman, she was, of course, was not in the right mind again because of the abuse. She took a knife and stabbed that man 11 times. Of course, the man died. And guess what? Of course, she was arrested, taken to court, jailed. Of course, after a while, the children of this woman got up and they started to appeal and like, no, our mother was being abused, there was coercive control, and then they started investigating, and they realized that indeed she's been abused for years. And of course, they brought the case out, turned it over, she was convicted, she was let out. And she's campaigning, she's campaigning seriously now. But one thing I say to people is, see, she has killed somebody, and that will remain with her forever. Forever. So don't just say, it's not physically abusing you. What about psychologically, mentally? What's going on here? You don't want to find yourself that you are the victim. You now become the accused. And this story, I've heard different versions of it, even in African countries. That the person that was, somebody was telling me that, please, I don't want this person to do something that they would regret. So I said, it's better you leave, not just so that your own life is preserved, so that you also don't do something that you will suffer for the rest of your life. So physical abuse, we all know physical abuse. The person is slapping you, hitting you, throwing things at you, anything, or sometimes pointing. I will be. So I even say to people that if somebody is threatening to beat you or threatening to slap you, they will do it. They say, he just says he will beat me. When he gets angry, he just throws the things around. He carries the cushion, he carries the television, he breaks it, he breaks all the plates in the house. Excuse me, that is still physical abuse. It's physical abuse. And see, the people that die from that kind of situation, they don't know that the person didn't say, tomorrow I will kill you. In fact, the perpetrator did not plan, did not know that person will die. It was just one of those incidences. Something happened, the person is upset, the person carried something, threw at you, started slapping her and beat her, and the person just dies. It is dead. I didn't plan it. I wasn't planning it. I love him, I love him, I didn't plan to kill him. It's too late. It's too late. See, you are too precious. You are created by God, created in the image of God. You are too precious for you to subject yourself to that kind of treatment. It is, you are, see, there is nobody like you on the surface of the earth. That's how rare and that's how expensive and wonderful and beautiful you are. And like I said, I know I have faith audience watching me, and a person of faith, and I'm going to deal with this from different angles. So help me God. This is my mandate, and I'm stepping into it fully by the special grace of God. There is no evil in God. I've had people say to me, oh, but God said he is my husband. God said she is my wife. And this person is beating you. Sometimes I'm wondering, which God are you talking about? Which one? No, because I don't get it. God? The loving Father? I asked somebody one day, I said, your earthly father, your biological father, if your biological father knows that this person is treating you like this, slapping you, pushing you, beating you, saying negative words to you, verbally abusing you, right? Will your earthly father says, it's fine, my daughter, just stay there, you'll be okay. Say, no, lie. Even if my earthly father knew before I married this person, he won't allow me. I said, so your earthly father will not tolerate this. Why do you think your heavenly father will tolerate it? Why do you think your heavenly father will put you in a situation where somebody will be harming you? See, God, yes, God is love. There is no evil in God. The devil came to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Anything that is destroying your self-esteem, destroying your worth, destroying your value, destroying your health, physical health, mental health, excuse me, auntie, excuse me, uncle, is not of God. It's not of God. And I'm emphasizing that abuse is not gender biased. I know, and see, for some men, it's not even physical. And I don't want to go ahead of myself. It's more, so let me just go to number one. Number two, so first type of abuse, that's what I want to go through today. Physical abuse, we all know what that is. An intentional use of physical force to harm somebody, intimidate, or control. So it can be that if you don't sit down there now, I will beat you up. Or pushing you. Or throwing things at you. Physical harm. And sometimes we cover it up with clothes. We put makeup and then we wear dark glasses. What happened to you? I fell down. No, you have to love yourself enough to choose yourself. Because you are worth it. You are worth it. You deserve to be treated like the king's child. Whether you are a male or you are a female, you deserve to be treated kindly, lovingly, because God is your father. Number two, emotional or psychological abuse, right? Words and actions that crush your self-worth, create fear and control through manipulation. So emotional, psychological, and this is the most common type of abuse. Abuse doesn't always have a scar. Okay, let me quickly look at questions. I think the questions are, so why do abusers always prosper more than the... Okay, I didn't see the part. Okay, so I suspect what you're trying to ask is, why do abusers always prosper more than the victims? That is a delusion. And let me tell you, I asked myself this question, right? I will see if I can find that scripture in Psalm. I think it's in Psalm 37. Psalm 37. And this is not even a matter of abuser, right? Abusers. Do you know anybody who is not a child of God, who is prospering, who is even doing bad things, like really hurting people and harming people, and they're having, it appears, I'm going to use that word, yes, Psalm 37, that they are prospering. Psalm 37, I'm person of faith. So a lot of times when I'm confused about things, I ask, hey God, why this, why that? So let me answer that question, Amarachi. Psalm 37 says, do not fret because of those who are evil, or be envious of those who do wrong. For like the grass, they will soon wither. Like green plants, they will soon die away. 3 and 4, trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. See, right? It might appear as if they are prospering, but God cannot be mocked. Trust me. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man sows, he will reap. And I often tell victims, right, focus on you. Forget about what is happening with that person, especially if you've exited and you're trying to rebuild your life. Forget about them. Forget what is happening. Some people are giving themselves unnecessary headache. You are looking at that person, checking them on social media. What are they doing? Are they talking to another girl? Are they talking to another man? You don't need that. You don't need that. Focus on yourself, focus on healing, focus on discovering yourself, focus on discovering your value, because there is value inside of you. Right? So I've typed a question. I hope I've done that. Yeah. And then what about the abuse? Okay, so I'm going to talk about now. What about the abuse that is not violent? That's what I'm talking about now. How do you stop loving your abuser, especially if you are getting to the point of having to leave? What do you do if you are partly still there, determined to divorce? Currently, it's okay. Amarachi, I think you might need a one-on-one session with me. I, I would, help you to navigate that path. Yeah. So that's very true. I focus study on myself and my healing. Absolutely. You have to focus on yourself and your healing. Forget it. You might think, see, God is not mocked though. You cannot plant beans and you now say, oh, I want to reap corn. I want to reap yam. You planted beans, you reap beans. There are lots of life. Whatsoever a man sows, that he will reap. Right? So I'm still in number 2, but I will try and move quickly. So second one, emotional and psychological abuse. Right? This happens when the person's words, see, words are powerful. And I dare say that emotional and psychological abuse is worse than physical abuse. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Because I said at the beginning that your mind is your greatest asset. I say, is it beating you? It's not beating you. It's okay. Just stay there. Is she beating you? She's not slapping you. At least she's not slapping you. But every day she will look at you and say, look at you, useless man. Is that what your mates are doing? Nonsense. Look at him. You call yourself a man. You are an excuse of a man. You are a horrible person. You are this. You are that. Excuse me. That is serious. See, violence is not only physical. There can be verbal violence. So maybe if we start using that word, emotional violence, because you can violate somebody's emotions. How do you feel after that conversation? How do you feel when that person says those things to you? You feel useless. You feel your life doesn't matter. I know people who've been at the edge of suicide because they've been in verbally abusive relationships, because they've got to a place where they feel, my life doesn't matter. I'm useless. I can't do anything right. Yeah. So violence is not just physical. Violence can be mental. Violence can be verbal. Violence can be psychological. And so you need to choose yourself. Right? Imagine being told every day that you are worthless. You are valueless. Nobody will like you. Nobody likes you. Nobody, people don't really like you. I used to hear that a lot. Oh, you should be happy that I'm involving you in the things I'm doing. You don't have brain. You don't engage your brain. You are so stupid. Imagine you hearing that every single day. It is violence against your mind, against your soul. And it's horrible. Because when you lose that sense of self that you are supposed to have, you lose everything. The same way you will not employ, you are trying to employ staff to your organization, and they tell you that this is this person's CV, but right now this person is mad. They are crazy. They've lost their mind. Will you still employ that person? Somebody that's lost their mind cannot function in your organization. They cannot do anything for themselves. Oh, bless you, Michelle. So like I said to Amarachi, you might also need a one-on-one with me. So send an email. Absolutely. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can help you professionally. That's what I do now by the grace of God. I'm a certified life and trauma recovery coach. I'm a CBT therapist. I help people who have been through any kind of abuse, because some people's own struggle is childhood abuse, and I will talk about that as well, because like I said, domestic violence also includes childhood abuse, because it happens in the family. It's domestic. And a lot of adults are struggling today because of the domestic violence they experienced as children. But healing is possible. There's something I love to say, right? Don't allow what happened to you happened in the past to keep happening to you now. You had no choice. You had no control over what that person did to you. But now you have control on what you do to yourself. And the best gift you can give to yourself is the gift of healing. Is to say, yeah, okay, that's in my past. That person did that to me. But no, I'm not gonna stay in it and keep doing it to myself. I'm gonna rise above it. I'm gonna heal. And that's why I said earlier on about Reinvent to Excel 7.0. Our theme this month is Rise. From the 17th to the 19th is virtual. The link is in my bio. If you're on Instagram, you can go and register. It's Rise. It's time for you to rise. Okay, Michelle says how much. So Michelle, like I said, send me an email. Just write the email address down. hello@coachjolagrace.com. hello@coachjolagrace.com. You can also, if you when we're done, go to my Instagram handle is @coachjolagrace. There's a WhatsApp link in my Instagram that you can use to chat with me on WhatsApp. Okay, and then we can I have different packages. I have a one-off session, I have monthly subscription packages, and then I have tailored packages. So I have something called Soul Healing Package. It's a 12 weeks section, 12 weeks package. I have a reinvention package that is about 5 months. So I have different packages, some tailored at emotional health, some tailored at emotional intelligence, at self-esteem, different packages to suit you. So depending on what you want, you can send me that. Sometimes people always pick the wrong people to want to. Yeah, that is also because you have not healed. And that's something that will also get into. Why do I, somebody asked me that question one day, why do I keep finding myself in the same situation, the same person, the same type of people? Like, people keep abusing me. Why? One trait that I also see, a lot of people that experience childhood abuse end up being abused as an adult. So they marry somebody that abuses them again, even though they were abused as a child. That's why you need to heal. You need to heal, right? Talk to Oasis. Kojola is the best around. What every time? Oh, thank you. That's one of my I won't say my clients now, because you are much more than a client. My fulfillment. I'm still looking for the word, but you are more than a client. And thank you for putting in the work. Putting in the work and rising above your past is the best thing you can do for yourself, is to rise above your past. So emotional scars, like I said, they don't show on the skin, right? But they take longer to heal than the physical ones. I was saying to someone the other day, I said, listen, you need to give yourself time, right? Because the pain, the trauma, the abuse you went through was years. At least you will say 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Why do you think you attend one seminar and then you are healed? It doesn't work like that. Because you see, the response, what is the pain, right? So the effect, and then I will still go into how abuse affects us. Abuse affects your physical body. Even if you're not being physically abused. I have a scar to show for it. I will show you. How do cancerous cells grow on somebody's shoulder? How? Abuse can affect you physically, right? But it's important for you to say to yourself, what is within my own control is to heal from that abuse, and I'm going to give myself the time, because yes, it didn't happen overnight. It happened over time. And I need to be patient with myself. So the reaction, so when something happens to me now, one of the reactions of people who've been through trauma is they can be extra sensitive, right? You can read meaning into everything. Somebody says something to you, you think, instead of you to think it's straight like this, you think it's like that, like this, you think it round. It's not that deep, but you are reacting because you're still very fragile, right? Now, some people become withdrawn. They repress things. One of the very okay, thank you, Rebecca. I don't know if we can, I don't know how to, so I'm live on YouTube as well. I'm not so sure how to pin things. I just thought people have said you have to go on YouTube. So I'm listening to you guys and I'm working on developing my YouTube page. So please go and follow me on YouTube as well at Coach Jola-Grace. Right? So you see, one of the major responses of victims of abuse is what I call emotional dumbness. Right? So you see, if somebody is deaf and dumb, normally they can't talk. Physically, they can't talk. But if you've been through abuse, you can become emotionally dumb as well. D-U-M-B, not numb. Yes, numb is there. But meaning that you can't express yourself. People hurt you, you keep quiet. Now you are outside of the abuse, oh, you are not living life. But you still realize that people hurt you, you keep quiet. People do this, you keep quiet. You feel like this, you can't say. Because you're like, oh, it doesn't matter. I don't matter. So all of those are responses to the abuse you've been in, and they are habits that you formed so that you can cope. Because you see, abuse is not a normal situation. I talk about the 5 basic soul needs: love, care, attention, affection, appreciation. Every human being is not a want, is a need. Now, when you don't have it, your brain has to cope one way or the other. And so you develop coping mechanisms of internalizing things, of suppressing things, of just sometimes just repressing them, or pretending it didn't happen, or you disconnect emotionally, all those things. And guess what? Because those were coping mechanisms, they become habits. When you are no longer in that environment, guess what? Those habits are still with you. And that is why, like Michelle says, sometimes you find yourself in the same situation over and over and over again. So you now need to go through the process of changing those habits. And that is what the healing journey is. Now, research has shown that it takes between 21 to 90 days sometimes to form a new habit. So I want to form a new habit of how I think about myself. I want to form a new habit of telling myself that I'm worth it, that I'm special. Because abuse has helped you to develop the habit of, me, I'm not important. Or you are listening to what has been told. And see, one thing you need to understand about emotional abuse, psychological emotional abuse, is it affects your brain in that a lot of times, right, you will experience what we call gaslighting. Gaslighting, when somebody makes you doubt your reality, right? This book is here. I put this book here, right? And then I come back, I'm like, oh, this book was here. No, I come back that the book is no longer there. And I'm like, oh, but this book was here just now. And that person says, no, 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 the book was never there. Are you sure you put the book there? Meanwhile, this person has taken the book and gone, and the person has put the book somewhere else in the bedroom. And so I'm like, but I think I put the book there. And then I go to the bedroom and I said, the book is here. But you see, I told you, you are losing your mind, though. I had a client who, see, it's abuse is deep. I had a client once who she was constantly, daily experiencing gaslighting to the extent that she actually developed psychosis. Yes. She developed psychosis. And she had to start seeing a psychiatrist, because this person kept telling her, so she kept doubting her reality. So you see, emotional, psychological abuse is as deadly, even not deadlier, than physical abuse. Doubting your reality. Verbal abuse. Verbal abuse is when somebody tells you things like foolish, stupid, useless, nonsense. In some parts of the world, they even have some stronger words that they will use to tell you that your brain is not correct, that your nose is like this one, that the air is like this one. And if you keep hearing that every day, listen, the whole world was formed by words. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God said, let the fish be gathered in the sea. And God said this, let there be. And God, words. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were created by the words. By words. So you see, unfortunately, if you're in an abusive environment where you're being verbally abused, that person is creating something inside of you. So why you see abuse is evil. God created you a beautiful human being, filled with healthy esteem, passion, everything. And then somebody starts, so this is what verbal abuse does, you know. Let's say I have a hammer. I'll try and get some props for tomorrow. And this person keeps hammering. You are foolish. You are stupid. You are mad. You don't use your brain. That's what abuse does. So it's a one hit after another on your soul, after another on your soul, after another on your soul. And the truth is, down the line, you will look at that person and all you will see is stupid. Why can't I do anything right? Because somebody has said that thing to you and it's stuck. That is why you need to heal. Coach, please, how can someone heal in the toxic environment, especially when the person cannot leave? So you see, one of the things I say to people is, and I understand that there are different situations like that, because like I said, even I will talk about different types of abuse, right? Abuse can happen in workplace. In fact, I have about 2 clients that I've done coaching for that they didn't even know that it was an abusive, toxic situation in their workplace. It can happen in extended family situation, right? It can also happen, of course, childhood, right? So the parents, sometimes the mom, sometimes the dad. It can even also happen the other way. Children can also abuse parents. I've seen it before, right? So I can't give you all of the answer, but one of the things that you can do is begin to put yourself in a bubble. You can put yourself in a bubble. And I don't know what kind of, toxicity you are talking about, but nobody can disrespect you without your permission. I'll explain that. Nobody can disrespect you without your permission. Also meaning that you have control over what you allow to enter into you. And it's not going to be, depending on the peculiarity of your situation, it's not something that's going to be easy. But you have to make that effort to say, okay, now, create alternatives. So if, for instance, there's a workplace and you say, okay, this is my boss. At the moment, I can't leave this job because I don't have another job. I have to pay my bills, blah, blah, blah. So I just have to find a way to manage it, right? I can. So it's like, and sometimes this happens to me. I know that maybe I'm going to be driving for a long time or I'm going to have a very long day. I'm not tired yet, but you get what I do. I take energy drink. I know it's not good. But I say, I already think that I might be tired in the afternoon and I have a long day. I'm not tired now. I don't know. I take energy drink. Why? I'm already anticipating that I'm going to be tired. And so I'm mitigating against it. That when that tired enters, it will meet strength inside of me. I'm already strong. So sometimes in environments like that, you intentionally put yourself in a bubble where whatever the other person is doing will not affect you. And like I said, I don't know the intricacies of your situation, but please, if it is physical, you have to get out of there. You have to get out of there. You only have one life. Only one life, right? So let's move on. Abuse can also be financial. In intimate partner relationship, there's financial abuse, that's controlling or withholding access to money to maintain power. And a lot of, so like I said, I'll still talk about the perpetrator. Some perpetrators are narcissists, and a lot of them use money to control you. Right? So some people have been in an abusive relationship where their partner still allowed them to keep working. They were working, they were making money, even collecting money from them and things like that. Right? That person is not a narcissist. And there are different types of narcissists as well, right? Now, a covert narcissist will do everything to make sure that you don't have any power. And money is one of the things they use because, of course, if you don't have money, You don't have choices now. Money gives you options. Money, oh my God, it's, it's time. Time has gone. Okay, like I said, we have, tomorrow is another day. We have 14 more days, and I want you to invite people. Right, share the videos, share the link. If you need to get in touch with me, that's the WhatsApp number. +44. It's a WhatsApp number only, please. +44 7765 357972. So for people on YouTube, I will say that again. It's +44 7765 375972. WhatsApp only, or you can email hello@Jola-Grace.com. So financial abuse, that's financial abuse. For example, a man tells his wife she can't work, takes her salary if she does, or refuses to give her money for basic needs, forcing her to beg or depend completely on him. And I experienced that. I told you I experienced every kind of abuse. Wasn't allowed to work. Even the times that I did some small jobs, all the money is taken away from me. I have to beg for money for basic needs. Right? And what this does is keeps the victim trapped in survival mode, because my survival is tied to this abuser, so I cannot leave. Where am I going to? Right? Let me say one more or two more. It's a family emotional abuse. Thank you so much. That's fine. Like I said, you can always, we can always book a session with me or talk privately if you want. Sexual abuse. I'll talk about sexual abuse, and then we'll leave it there for today. Now, this is very dicey, because a lot of people say, oh, a husband cannot rape his wife, or a wife cannot rape their husband. Okay, that sounds weird, me saying this, but I'm sure it happens. But what I'm trying to actually also establish is abuse is not gender bias. It happens to the man, it happens to the woman. Right? I know someone who is a man who the wife used to stab when they have arguments. Proper stab, and this person ends up in the hospital. And the person's family and friends like, you want to die? Is it by force? Right? So, sexual abuse, any consensual sexual act or coercion, even within marriage. Sex is something that two people agree to do together and they enjoy together. So regardless of the situation that they are in marriage, if one person says, oh no, I'm tired, I don't want to do, and because there's balance to it, right? But even if the person is saying I'm tired every day, that I have a headache, you still don't have a right to force that person to do what they don't want to do. It is still abuse, right? And that is important for us to know as well. A lot of times, when there is other kinds of abuse happening in that relationship, sexual abuse is always there, because the other partner doesn't think about the needs of the victim. Anytime they feel, I'm horny, I need to have sex, they just carry the person, do what they want to do, and they move on. They don't care about the other party. It is still abuse. Listen, it's day one. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I read some statistics to you at the beginning. Abuse is real. It's affecting somebody in a corner around you. One of the statistics says 24 people are victims of abuse. 24 people get abused within a month, within a minute. A minute. 34% of murders are from intimate partner. That can't be good. God is good. God cannot subject you to a relationship where you are being hurt. I'm sorry, no. Every good and perfect gift comes from above, from the Father of light, with whom there is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Excuse me, if that person is hurting you, whether physically, verbally, emotionally, financially, sexually, in that relationship, it is not of God. It is the devil. And you need to choose yourself. We need to choose life. We've seen situations where, like I said, from the perpetrator's perspective, there are different kinds of situations they are involved with. If it is not narcissists, and I'm not gonna say they never change, but again, statistics research has shown that only 3% of narcissists actually change. Only 3%. And listen, you cannot change anybody. I will end there tonight. I will keep praying. I will change it. You can't. Hey, let me just keep hold on. I will change him. I will change her. She will change. She will. You have to choose yourself. You have to choose yourself. From the perpetrators at the end number again. Okay, the number. Okay, so I'll give the number again. This is WhatsApp number +44 +44 77, that's 77 +4477 65 37 5972. Okay. I think I saw Pastor Debola in the house. Hey, good evening, says Banks. Well, hi, call me Omore. Call me Oreolua. Hi. Good evening, all. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to be back tomorrow for day 2. Hey, my brother, Official Relay. Good evening. We're going to be back tomorrow for day 2 as we raise the awareness and break the silence of domestic violence and abuse. And I was saying, so let me end by this. You cannot change anybody, right? Can I also shock you? This might shock a lot of you, right? And I said at the beginning that this course is very close to my heart in that I've walked this journey, right? I experienced abuse, every kind of abuse for 16 years. And by the grace of God, I was able to come out of it safe. Because, see, a lot of people don't have that grace and that opportunity. Some people died. We all heard of a synergy a few years ago. Some are out, but they are not functioning in the way they're supposed to be functioning. Some are physically disabled because of the situation. So it is grace. And that is why we that have this kind of opportunity needs to keep raising the awareness to prevent as many people from making the same mistake, first of all, and those who already made it, helping them to survive and not to be victims, not for them to be fatal victims. So you say, oh, I will change her. I will change him. I will change him. I've been praying for him, or I've been praying for her. She will change, or, I believe what God cannot do does not exist. Yeah, of course. But guess what? Remember what I said at the beginning. God has given all of us the power of choice. In fact, in the world, they call it human rights. Right to life, right to speech, right to this, right to that. You have a right to make your own decisions. Right? You can be praying for somebody to change, and the person might not change. It doesn't mean God has not answered your prayers or God is not answering your prayers. Listen, God cannot force anybody to do what they don't want to do. He can't. Did I pray? Oh, yes, I prayed. I prayed. Confessed, declared. But you see, the Bible talks about the Holy Spirit being, the Holy Spirit is a gentleman. It will prompt. When you are praying for someone, it will prompt, why are you doing this? Don't do that. It is now left to the person to heed or not to heed. He even asked the children of Israel, choose you this day whom you serve. He didn't say, you children of Israel, by force, you have to serve me. He said, choose. You have a choice. Choose you this day whom you will serve. Who do you want to serve? Who do you want to serve? So sometimes we delude ourselves and say, let's keep praying, I'll keep praying. He will change. If you are in danger, please take a break. Oh yes, take a break. Seek help. Go for therapy. Go for counseling. One of the things that we are putting together Oh, I don't know if I should say this now. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, I won't say it now, but I'll say it later. I'll say another one. But one of the things that we are working on and putting together is premarital. It's not counseling, no. Premarital coaching. We will coach you. We will check your childhood. Because you see, some people are not even supposed to marry. If by the time you sit down and we chunk into your childhood, we realize that, well, I'm looking for the English word, but egni. Somebody help me with the English. English has disappointed me. Egni inside the childhood that you can't marry like this, or if you marry like this, there's going to be a problem. And so we will help you overcome all of those things in your childhood to say, okay, are you now whole? Is your soul whole? Because it has to be two whole people coming together in a marriage to make it work. So we want to stop being fire brigade and putting out fires. Helping sure that the fire doesn't even start in the beginning. We don't even want the fire to start. So we're trying to work with organizations, even with churches, to say we'll offer you we're offering premarital coaching sessions. And it's not 3-4 sessions. No, you are 3 months. We need to know where you're coming from, what has happened in your background before you say, okay, what do we need to deal with before you... Because sometimes by the time you enter into the marriage, it's too late to change some things. It's too late. It's too late. Right? So let's end there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 2. So we've talked about what I will look at some statistics tonight. We talked about different types of abuse: physical, emotional, financial, sexual. There is also spiritual abuse, but probably I will talk about that maybe tomorrow. Okay. And like I said at the beginning, abuse is not gender biased. It can happen to a man, it can happen to a woman. And we'll also talk about some signs for you to watch out for if somebody's abuse. Because if you have a family member, especially for the men who don't talk, because I've coached men, and I realized that they struggle to even say to people around them, this is what is going on with me. Check on your brothers. Check on them. Right? So I will tell you some signs of some of the things to look out for. The fact that you can't see a bruise on the person's body doesn't mean that the person is fine and they're not going through some challenges. And it's my prayer tonight that God will give strength to everyone that might be going through a difficult or tough situation, and give you wisdom to be able to navigate the path that you need to navigate. My name is Jola-Grace Emmanuel. I am the Soul Doctor, and I love to say that I am committed to helping you heal, thrive, and grow. Listen, you carry value. Your past does not determine what your future will be. The past is in the past, but your future is glorious. And if God can do it for me, and He's still doing it for me, He will also do it for you. You matter. You are special. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for day 2. Remember, share the word. Let people know that we are doing a 15-day campaign, breaking the silence, raising awareness about domestic violence and abuse. Good night, everyone. Bye. Bye, Michelle. I love you too.